The moment I had the humility to express it's not always gonna be me and that's okay because I love myself was the moment my life just shifted entirely. If something doesn't happen for you at that moment, it means that something better is yet to come. Hi, my name is Sophia Vinasco and I am your best friend for everything self-care, self-improvement, and walking in your confidence. But here's the twist. I don't sugarcoat, I keep it 100 with you always, and I am here to support you 100%. If you want to become part of a family that is supportive, relatable, but most of all, truthful, then please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and comment down below so that I know you're here. Also make sure to turn on those post notifications so that you can tune in because I post every Sunday at 4 p.m. Now, before we get started with today's topic, I'm going to plug my socials real quick. I have a TikTok at Soph that posts a little bit more about my personal life, but still gets into topics like these. I also just dropped my first Spotify podcast episode at TheSNSBrand. Please go ahead and check that out. I would love to see you guys on there as well. Now, let's get into it. Today's topic is a little bit more intimate, so I encourage you to sit back and grab a cup of coffee or tea. Today we are repping my sorority, Lambda Theta Alpha, because I just got elected for next year's chapter president. I'm so excited because we're the first ever chapter at my university and we are also the founding members of that chapter. So I'm so excited to see our community grow and have a good representation for other Latinas on campus and beyond that, okay? Now, today's topic is gonna be a hard truth, but it's gonna be a good one, okay? You will not always be chosen. And if you're watching this, you're probably like, well, duh, I mean, I've already faced this. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know how to cope with this. And I'm someone who did not know how to cope with this for a long time. Just those difficult feelings of realizing, you know what? You're not always going to be the winner, and that's okay, because what matters is how you take that and how you process it. And on top of that, how you react to that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't react with grace, which is totally okay, you're bound to make things happen that don't need to happen. Here's the thing, you will not always be chosen, but if you choose yourself every day, it doesn't matter what external factor person chooses you. If you choose you every single day, it doesn't matter what happens to you or how something affects you. It'll just go right over your head because you have the strength to realize that you choose yourself, and it does not matter what other people think or what other people say, okay? And I know I've said this in my other videos before, but it hurts not to be chosen. Whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your friendship, whether it's in a competition, whether it's in a class, there is so much hurt that comes from not being chosen. And personally, I've faced this a lot in my life. But you know what? If you choose yourself, you realize that you can navigate anything. Let me give you an example, okay? For this presidency role that I obtained this semester through our election process, did not come easily. And it may seem like something that's very minimal, and you know what it is, but I learned an important lesson by not getting elected the first time. First time that my sorority even came onto campus, I wanted to be president so bad because as one of the founding members, it was something that was really important to me. But my sister, my sorority sister, got chosen as president instead. And I took it really hard. But then I took the time to realize if I choose myself and I realized that maybe the reason that I didn't get chosen by someone else was because I needed to work on me and internally reflect after that experience, I would have never learned from it. And I never would have gotten to this position today. Sometimes not being chosen is a sign from God, the universe, whatever, that you need to take a different path and you need to do some internal reflection. And think about the perspective that goes into the situation in general. Perspective is everything, and this is one of the most instrumental lessons to not only growing up, but obtaining maturity as you grow. There is always different sides to any story, circumstance, any of that. There is always another angle, another view. And your view is not always going to be the correct one, okay? Of course, you are true to yourself, you are true to your power and your word. And I strongly believe that you should live by that, live by your values. But you also need to remember, especially if there's a conflict in your relationship or friendship, there's always two sides to the story. And that person that you're in a conflict with deserves to have themselves seen by you too. Being able to see things from different perspectives is one of the ultimate signs of maturity and will get you far. Removing the emotion, which is easier said than done, removing the emotion from a situation will get you so much further in every aspect of your life once you realize that there are different perspectives and everything happens for a reason. Now, let me tell you this. Think about the way you grew up, okay? The different circumstances, the different things that affected you growing up and how they shaped you into who you are today. Those hidden behaviors that maybe sometimes even you don't see that affect your relationships and affect what happened to you in your life. Think about that when you're arguing with someone, when a certain situation happens. Think about that, but from their lens. What have they experienced? What have they been through? And how might that affect how they react to something, or how they argue, or even how they compliment or act just in general? There is a perspective to everything, and this is crucial to understanding that you're not always going to win the argument. You're not always going to win the position. And you know what's crazy? It shouldn't even be about winning anyways, because we should always approach life with a sense of kindness and fairness, okay? If someone wins at something, and if someone is chosen over you, you know what? Instead of being upset, be happy. Be happy for them, because your time will come. That's the crazy thing about it. If something doesn't happen for you at that moment, it means that something better is yet to come. And having that mentality of something else was meant for me is going to save you so much stress and so much pain. I'm telling you right now, instead of asking why me, say thank God it's me, because that means that there's a different path meant for you. And that is crucial, because honestly, it's so hard to see things that way if you've someone who's experienced a lot of loss or a lot of anger or a lot of pain in your life. It's easier to victimize yourself and say, this always happens to me. God, why is this happening to me? Please make it stop happening to me. When in reality, you're in control of not only your emotions, but a lot of the things that happen to you in life. You are in control of your journey and your destiny, and so you need to take these circumstances that happen to you that don't go as expected with grace and with a grain of salt. Because guess what? You're going to look back one day and realize that these things that are happening to you, that are meant to happen to you, are so minimal in your journey. Because once they do, and you take those circumstances with grace and with humility, something better is going to come along, and that something is going to be so great that you'll forget the bad thing even happened. That's the amazing part. Everything in life is a lesson or a blessing, okay? And when things like that happen to you, always take them as a lesson and then a blessing. Because after you really realize, hey, this happened to me for a reason, you'll see it as a blessing. Like, it really just takes that mentality shift. And I know it's not easy. Like, when I tell you guys, I was someone who tried to victimize myself so bad for so long. And you know where it got me? It got me nowhere. I would isolate. I would be upset. I'd be mad. The whole everything. And you know where it got me? It got me alone. It got me depressed. And most of all, it blocked all of my blessings, quite literally. The moment I shifted my perspective into these things are happening for a reason was the moment that the right things, the right people, the right circumstances started coming into my life. The moment I had the humility to express it's not always gonna be me and that's okay because I love myself was the moment my life just shifted entirely. Don't be the person that's the victim, and be the person that says, okay, how can I move on from this? How can I do better next time? And what was the benefit that came out of this circumstance that maybe I don't see right now? And of course, coping with your emotions is not an easy thing. Believe me, as someone who has bipolar disorder that I didn't know I had until I was like 19 years old, it is not easy to control your emotions. But with the right care, the right people in your life, and the right mentality, mastering your emotions will become as easy as ever. And I'm also here to help you with those skills because it took me years to get to where I am today. And that's why I'm on this channel helping other people get to that point too. Because I truly care and understand how it feels to be overlooked or overseen. Because something like a neurological disease or a neurological illness is completely invisible and a lot of people don't understand. I felt like I was misunderstood for so long until I really got the proper care and realized, you know what, I'm not abnormal. Okay, I'm not abnormal. I'm just different, and it's okay to be different. Okay, my camera definitely just died, but let me tell you this. The one key component to mastering this mentality of emotional freedom is the art of detachment. And if you haven't heard of this already, the art of detachment is essentially where you are connected to everything, but emotionally, you are connected to nothing. And now this sounds like you're just desensitized to the world, which is easy enough already with everything that's going on right now. But let me explain it to you. Be connected to your surroundings. Be connected to the present moment. That is the whole concept that surrounds detachment. Be connected to your present, but don't be connected to the past. The past is depression. Don't be connected to the future. The future is anxiety. If your mind is always in another place, either the past or the future, you're not worried about what's happening to you right now. And if you worry about what's happening to you right now, instead of always worrying about what's already happened or what's happening in the future, you'll realize, A, things don't have to be that deep, and B, you are able to center, take a deep breath, and recognize, how can I approach this the right way? Do I have to be emotionally stressing over this circumstance? Do I have to be worrying about what's going to happen next when that thing hasn't even happened yet? Do I need to be reacting in this way right now? Don't become overly attached to people. Don't become overly attached to things, because life flows freely. You know what? There are many things that you can't control, but what you can control is how you react, how you act, and how you perceive things. That is what you can control. How I think about it is like a control bubble. What's inside your control bubble and what's outside your control bubble? Because there are circumstances in life that are going to be outside your control bubble. And that's why I tell you, as long as you love yourself and realize that you can always choose yourself, if you're not chosen by whatever situation it is in life, it won't matter, because you can control what you perceive and how you react and what your emotions are. And that's all that matters, because that means that you can take things, process them properly, and realize that you don't have to worry about everything that led up to that moment or everything that's going to happen after that circumstance occurs. You just have to worry about what you can control, and that will set you free in so many ways. For example, in your relationships, if you're worried about, oh my God, like, what if we have this fight over something that I'm so scared to tell him about, da 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 da, but you haven't even figured out how you're gonna tell him, you haven't figured out when you're gonna tell him, all you're worried about is how he's gonna react. First off, you're basically manifesting that reaction into reality. And second of all, you don't know what he's gonna say. You might know this person, but you also cannot control their reaction. And that's just something that you have to realize. And yes, it's okay to feel bad after the circumstance happens. It's okay to feel sad. But one day you just have to wake up and realize that you can't let the most minimal things in life affect you and affect your path, affect your beauty, and affect where you want to go. Life is like, I know this is hard sometimes, but like, life is really not that serious. Like, we are small beings in a big universe. Life is not that serious. Take it, move on. Move on. And that's where the bluntness is going to come in. I'm saying this with all the compassion and love in the world. Move on. It's okay. Something better is going to happen for you. Everything happens for a reason. And once you're detached and recognizing that there is a path for you and that the universe has a way, or God has a way, or whatever you believe in, you will just flow along with life. You'll just be floating along and things won't matter so much. You control your destiny, but unfortunately, there are things in life that will happen to you that you did not expect, and that is all just a part of it. If you think you can control everything, let me sit you down real quick and tell you this as a fellow control freak. You control nothing. To be honest, all you can control is what you do with what happens to you, and that's okay. if you have a set plan and you are so stuck on this one thing, there are going to be circumstances along that plan that you didn't expect and account for. But if you aren't flexible in dealing with those circumstances, if you are just stuck in this one way, it's your way or the highway, you're going to be woken up real quick, because life does not work that way, okay? Things are always going to change. Life flows. Like I just said, life flows, and you just have to go with the flow. It'll save you so much stress and so much pain, because look, someone like me, ooh, I like things the way I like them, and guess what? Things don't always go my way. And it took me so long to realize that, and that is how I'm here today, giving you advice on how to just let go of control and realize that as long as you choose yourself, it's gonna be okay. Anyways, I hope you guys tune in next week for next week's topic. I love sitting down and talking to you guys, so if you have any suggestions for what you want me to speak about, drop them in the comments. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week.